All right, welcome back. We are going to model a revolving object starting with sketches, extrusions, and revolutions. We are going to model this object shown here. There are some steps listed. We're going to follow those same steps just like you would, but I wanted to give you a video to be able to walk through this. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I've got my file set up here. I've got our naming convention. ID underscore first name underscore and a name of an object. I called this the revolve object. So let's get started. Number one, I want to make sure that I change my workspace units. This one's going to be in millimeters. Make sure that this up here says millimeters where you click on that. All right, that's the 3 drop-down menu. Go to workspace units. Make sure this says millimeters for your lengths, and we should be good to go. First step is going to be sketching a 20 millimeter by 30 millimeter rectangle. All right, now I'm going to sketch this. Looking at this piece here, the 20 by 30 is this main size of this block here. So I'm going to sketch it on the front plane, and we're going to revolve it around in that space. So sketch on the front plane, navigate to the front, go ahead and get I'm going to use a corner rectangle, attach that corner there, and it's going to be 30 high by 20 wide. All right, so typing those dimensions in. There's my little rectangle. Finish that sketch. Next step is going to be revolving the rectangle 360 degrees around the 30 millimeter side. So I'm going to hit my revolve. And actually, let's go to isometric view. Revolve. Revolve requires 2 inputs. Number one, the face of the sketch to revolve. That's going to be the square we just made. Next, the revolution axis. I need to click on that revolution axis here. And then I need to click on the axis I want to revolve, which is on the 30 millimeter side. I'm going to use the side that's actually attached to the origin, so it's nice and centered. All right, we're going to sketch it and revolve it all the way around. Now we've got a little cylinder, and we're going to work with that. Next, we're going to sketch a 10 millimeter square centered on the top of the cylinder and extrude it up 15 millimeters. So I want to take a sketch on the top of my cylinder, go to my top view. I'm going to hide my planes now that I've created my first part. And I want to make a center rectangle on the center here, and it is a 5 by 5. Is that right? 10 millimeter, excuse me. 10 by 10, and it is centered automatically on the origin because I made my rotation axis the center, and now that little square is on the center. All right, we're going to go ahead and head back to isometric, and we are going to extrude that up 15 millimeters. And it is an add, so we're making sure it's all one part. All right, so there's the basic part of my structure here. 15 millimeters to create an additive feature. Add a 5 millimeter fillet to the edges between the rectangular prism and the cylinder. Let's do that. Fillet is a new tool that's going to round off our edges. We're going to be rounding between the cylinder and this piece that I just created. So these edges here around the bottom are what we're going to fillet. So I'm going to hit the fillet, and I'm going to go ahead and type in the 5 to start because I want 5 millimeter. And I'm going to go ahead and click on each of these edges as I rotate around. Okay, now I just use the rotate or feature here. You could always look at each face directly and click on each one of those lines, however you'd like to do it, creating that fillet. So that gives us a nice rounded view there. Additionally, I'm going to go ahead and add a 5 millimeter by 30 degree chamfer to the bottom. Now, a chamfer, if you look here, this 30 degrees, all right, the 30 degrees is between the horizontal and the edge of the chamfer, and it's 5 millimeters from the left or right edge to the end, the end of the chamfer, I should say. So we're going to go ahead and hit chamfer. We're going to click on this one here. Now it automatically gives you 2 distances as your option. We want to do a distance and an angle. So we want a 5 millimeter distance and a 30 degree angle. And we want to make sure that those are what they are in the right direction. Okay, so if I look here, if I change the direction, it gives me a higher fillet where my 30 degree angle is here at the top. I want the 30 degree angle to be at the bottom, and my 5 millimeters to be from the bottom edge there. So we want this one in this direction here. If I do my drawing, it'll pop up and show me that if I don't have it right when I label those dimensions, but that's the one that we want. All right, after we're done with that, that's basically it. We're going to go ahead and create a drawing of this part. So right click, create drawing of part, 4 views, and we're going to recreate the same drawing that we see here. Okay, this one has the top view and the front view, and things are labeled. So we'll label everything on the front view first. All right, front view, we want to label the dimensions. All right, first we want to label this dimension here. We want to label the total height. So I need to select the top corner and the bottom down here to get that full height. And wouldn't you know, it is in inches still. So I need to go here to my drawing units and precision and change that to millimeters. That's the little wrench over here, changing my units to millimeters. There we are. So that's that 30. We want the 15 for the top half. So my top half, I want to choose the edge of the top half all the way up to the top corner and place that on top of it. All right. And that one has our dimensions. I want to flip that on the inside if I can. There we go. Something like that. All right. Next one is going to be the radius of that fillet that we did. So I click on a curve. If I click on a curve, it's going to give me the radius. That's 5 millimeters. They've got a dimensions here of no decimal places, so just to the first ones place for these ones. So we'll switch that up in a minute. We want to do the 30-degree angle and the 5 on the bottom. All right, so to get the 5, we're going to click the bottom corner here and the top there, and that'll give us our 5. And then to get our angle, we're going to click the slanted edge and the bottom edge, and that's going to give us that 30-degree angle. If I can get it in the right spot here. And there we go. All right, so I'm going to change that precision down to just the ones place for our millimeters. So same thing over here on your little wrench tool, units and precision, millimeters, and precision 0, so that's just to the ones place. All right, so that is the view for this top front view. We want to go to the top view and take a look there. Notice that we have some, we have a circle mark and some hidden lines and stuff, so I want to make sure I'm showing that. It doesn't have everything on here, so I'll go ahead and show, hide, show hidden lines. That should show us that full view. I'll show the shaded view for this one because we know we're going to do that, and we know we're going to get rid of this right view. So zooming in on our top view, we want to label the total radius, the size of each of the square in the middle, where it's located, and that's about it. So let's go ahead and start with the easy one, which is the radius here, 40, and then we want to do 10 and 10. Whoops. And click on this edge and get 10 as well. And then go through, and it says we labeled this 5 millimeter there and the 5 millimeter here. And I believe that is it for the top view. They've got the numbers outside and the 10 on the inside. So let's go ahead and make that adjustment real quick. You can just drag that down to the outside there. Drag this one over to the other side here. And we have our 5 and our 10 in the right spots for that drawing. All right, there's your drawing. You can take a screenshot of that using the snipping tool and submit that for your assignment.